So you've got an idea for a business, but something's holding you back, right? Well, if you've ever been intimidated by the whole idea of starting something new, this is for you. We are going to completely tear down and rebuild how you think about entrepreneurship. Let's get right into it. You've heard it a million times. It's that terrifying statistic that gets thrown around everywhere. 90% of all new businesses fail. It's probably the number one reason that awesome ideas never see the light of day. But what if I told you that number is basically a myth, or at least it's not the whole story? See, the truth is, most businesses don't fail because it's impossible. They fail because they're playing a game with an old, broken rulebook. Today, we're going to learn the rules to a brand new game. So what is this wrong game I'm talking about? You know, the best way to think about it is like you're playing the video game SimCity, but you're using your actual life savings. People get obsessed with playing business. You know, renting a fancy office, printing out business cards, buying hoodies with a logo, all before they even have one person willing to pay them. That, my friends, is the fastest path to failure. Okay, let's actually sketch this out so it's super clear. On the left side of the screen here, let's draw a box for the old game. The key ingredient here was capital, which is really just a fancy word for a big pile of money. And to get it, you had to ask for permission from banks or rich investors. Now let's draw a big, thick line right down the middle of the page. Over here on the right, this is the new game. We'll call this the permissionless model. Why? Because you don't need to ask a single soul for permission to get started. So if you don't need money to start, what do you need? Well, in this new game, there are two brand new forms of capital, two kinds of leverage that you can build all by yourself without anyone's permission, and they are code and media. First up is code. And hey, don't let that word scare you. You do not need to be a coding wizard from MIT. Code is just the ability to build a solution to a problem. And honestly, with all the AI tools we have now, you can build incredible software, apps, or websites, sometimes without writing a single line of code yourself. This is your new digital factory, and it can work for you 24/7. The second type of new capital is media. This is your ability to get and hold people's attention. By creating content, videos like this, newsletters, posts on social media, you can build an audience of people who know you, like you, and trust you. This becomes your own personal distribution channel. You build it once, and it can pay you back forever. Okay, so you have this new capital. How do you actually use it? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. You don't use it to build some cool product you hope people will buy. No, you use it to solve a very specific, painful problem. We call this the pressure washer strategy. So here is the absolute key. Let's circle this idea. Stop thinking about what you can sell and start thinking about what problem you can solve. Think about it. If someone has a disgusting, mossy driveway, you don't sell them a complex chemical formula in a bottle. You sell them a beautiful, clean driveway. You sell the result. The bigger and more painful the problem, the more people are willing to pay for that result. Let's map out the whole flow. It's actually a really simple three-step loop. So let's start with the box on the left for step 1. Find a painful problem. Got it? Okay. Now let's draw an arrow over to a middle box for step 2. Use your leverage, your code or your media to build the solution. Simple enough? And finally, let's draw one more arrow to the last box, step 3. Sell the outcome, not the tool itself. This little loop right here is the engine of a permissionless business. Alright, let's talk about the final piece of this blueprint, because it's a huge trap that almost everyone falls into as soon as they get a little bit of success. And that trap is hiring people. We call this the NPC trap, because as soon as you do it, you've just switched the game's difficulty from normal to hard mode. Let's just circle this core idea right here. Managing people is incredibly complicated. It's expensive, it's stressful, it's just hard. In the permissionless model, the real goal is to build a one-person business that operates like an army. Your employees are software, automation, and AI. They work around the clock, they never complain, and you never have to worry about payroll. Okay, time for a quick reality check. I've spent this whole time telling you how easy it is to start, and it is. You could literally launch something this afternoon. But the real hard part, the thing that separates success from failure, isn't starting. It's sticking with it when things get boring or difficult, or when you're just not seeing results yet. So, how do you keep going? It all comes down to this diagram right here. Let's call it the motivation cycle. Let's trace this loop together. See this purple section? That represents you completing one small, manageable task. When you do that, it gives you a tiny burst of energy and motivation. That's this green section. You then take that little bit of energy and you apply it to the next small task, this blue section here, and completing that gives you even more energy. It's a positive feedback loop. It's how you build massive momentum, one tiny win at a time. So, to wrap all this up, let's put a bow on it. Here's the permissionless blueprint. Number 1. The 90% failure rate is a myth for people who play the new game. 2. Your new capital isn't money, it's code and media. 3. Sell solutions to painful problems, not products. And 4. Avoid hiring people. Use software and automation as your army. And there you have it. That's the entire plan. The tools are cheaper and more accessible than they have ever been in human history, and the strategy is surprisingly simple. You don't need anyone's permission to get started anymore. So the only real question left is, what problem are you going to solve first?